scared me. So good morning. I'm just heading uptown here to pick up my truck. Kind of a birthday this weekend, so I left it there last night. No point in drinking and driving. It's not worth it for anybody. I don't know why people still do it, but that's not why I'm here. Oh, it's icy out here. It's treacherous. Check this out. It's like ice everywhere. So anyway, I'm heading uptown. See what I can pick up at the grocery store, and maybe get a video I'll take. Hopefully a little bit of fun. Check out the sites, maybe go for a bit of drive. But anyway, I'd like to just take a sec to thank any people who subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. Hopefully we can get some more. So if you do see this, if you could subscribe and, pass it on, share it, like it. That'd be fantastic. It's like I'm walking on a pond right here. It's not, it's just a track. Okay, so yeah, I'll take the camera off now and hopefully I'll see you in a bit. Hope you have a good day, and we'll talk to you soon. All right, take care. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. It's Chris Cooper here. Hope you guys are having a great day, fantastic day. I've had a pretty good one myself. Today I thought I'd come out and do something a little different. I recently bought a new truck, probably about a month and a half ago. It's a 2016 Lariat F-150 Ford. It's got a lot of options on it. I did trade in my old truck. It was a 2014 F-150. It was the FX4 with the appearance package. It had the nice stripe down the side with the red details in the seats. Really nice truck. I really did like it. However, I thought maybe I'd get a new truck, and I did. I ended up getting this. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go over the things I like and dislike on this truck in comparison to the old one. There are some major things with this truck that I do have concern with. Ford doesn't seem to care about it. So well, anyway, let's cut here. We'll grab the other camera. We'll do a quick walk around, and I'll tell you what I like and dislike. All right. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. It's Chris Cooper here. Hope you guys are having a great day, fantastic day. I've had a pretty good one myself. Today I thought I'd come out and do something a little different. I recently bought a new truck, probably about a month and a half ago. It's a 2016 Lariat F-150 Ford. It's got a lot of options on it. I did trade in my old truck. It was a 2014 F-150. It was the FX4 with the appearance package. It had the nice stripe down the side with the red details in the seats. Really nice truck. I really did like it. However, I thought maybe I'd get a new truck, and I did. I ended up getting this. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go over the things I like and dislike on this truck in comparison to the old one. There are some major things with this truck that I do have concern with. Ford doesn't seem to care about it. So well, anyway, let's cut here. We'll grab the other camera. We'll do a quick walk around, and I'll tell you what I like and dislike. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. It's Chris Cooper here. Hope you guys are having a great day, fantastic day. I've had a pretty good one myself. Today I thought I'd come out and do something a little different. I recently bought a new truck, probably about a month and a half ago. It's a 2016 Lariat F-150 Ford. It's got a lot of options on it. I did trade in my old truck. It was a 2014 F-150. It was the FX4 with the appearance package. It had the nice stripe down the side with the red details in the seats. Really nice truck. I really did like it. However, I thought maybe I'd get a new truck, and I did. I ended up getting this. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go over the things I like and dislike on this truck in comparison to the old one. There are some major things with this truck that I do have concern with. Ford doesn't seem to care about it. So well, anyway, let's cut here. We'll grab the other camera. We'll do a quick walk around, and I'll tell you what I like and dislike. All right. Before I get started, I think I'll go over with the gear that I use for filming. I got some nice gear here. I also use a GoPro. Right now I'm filming with my iPhone 7. It's well, I don't need to show you that because well, everyone's seen an iPhone 7. Anyway, so there's the truck. It's a little dirty, but you know, I'd like to see anyone try to keep a truck clean here in the winter time in Canada. Anyway, let's go to the first camera. Now right here I've got my Canon 7D Mark II. I believe that's 7D. Yeah, that's a 7D Mark II. So let's have a look at that right now. Right now I'm just using a multi-purpose lens. It's an 18-300 autofocus, manual focus. I got on the tripod here, it's a Manfrotto. There's just the back of it here. There's the setting here for the video. It'll come on in a sec. So yeah, there's the screen there. So that's that camera. I use that one. Well, I try to use this one the most. It is a crop sensor. So it's kind of nice for getting a lot of close-ups using my zoom lenses. So let's go over to the other camera here. So over here I got the Canon 5D Mark III. Again, very nice camera. This is a full frame sensor, so I do get a more wide angle when I'm shooting stuff. As you can see, this one is much further away from the truck than this one over here. On this one here I'm using a 50mm lens. It is a high quality Sigma lens. It's called the Art Series. It's a very good lens. It's for my pictures, it's hands down one of my favorite for quality imaging. Crystal clear. Can't get any better with it. Again, here I'm using another Manfrotto. Oh, sorry, no, it's the Cameron one. It's a carbon fiber stand on a ball head as well. Very nice to use. It's great for hiking out in the woods when I'm doing my photography. Very, very light. Great for the backpack, carrying around. The other one's nice. Like I said, it's great for studio work. Quite often I don't take that in the woods. It's very heavy, cumbersome. I do take it occasionally because it is a more sturdy tripod. So if I'm trying to do late night, long exposure such, I'll tend to use that one. But anyway, we're using it for filming today, sorry. So I'll carry on with the filming. Let's head back over to the truck. Now, I'm going to get started probably with the most serious concern I have with this truck. Again, excuse the dirt. It is winter time. For me, it's I'm not sure if it's the tires or the suspension. I'm not sure what's going on with it, but let me explain a little bit. What happens, say I'm driving along and I go over certain tracks, not all tracks, certain, I guess if the tracks are at an angle in a certain way, I'll hit the tracks and the truck will hop. The back end feels like it's kicking out. Now the other day, it almost felt like the front end might be the one going out, making it feel like the back ends. I'm not 100% sure what's going on. I've seen a lot of forums on, a lot of other people having the same issue. Now, one thing I do know, my old truck, the F-150 2014, had the Pirelli Scorpion tires on it. Very nice tires, low profile. I did never experience any hopping on that truck whatsoever. So this is unique to the newer vehicles. I'm not sure. Here Ford has gone with the Goodyear Wranglers on this truck. They're not quite as low profile, but what I'm thinking could be happening is the sidewalls are soft. So maybe the tires themselves are wiggling. Now I know when I do put my foot on the top, I'll try to show you here, but best I can, if you can see it, I'll put my foot on the top of the tire and I'll give it a little shove, and you will see a lot of rocking, hopefully. Now I'm not sure if it's suspension again, if the frame's soft, if it's not. Anyway, let's do the kick and see if you can see it or not. Here we go. Yeah, so I don't know how much you can see it there or not. Keep getting my finger on the, here, let's try that again. It is hard to see, but it does do a lot of wobbling. So I'm not sure if that's impacting it. I know unique to, I believe it's the 15s and 16s. You can see the shock in the back here. That one's angled towards the front. So if you notice, if you look down, there's the front of the truck. Here's the back of the truck. That shock is facing up in that direction towards the front of the vehicle. So let's go to the other side. Should have got my plate in there. So anyway, here we go on the other side. Again, you know, same tires. Now if you look on this one, this shock is going more of a direction up. So it's going towards the back of the vehicle, not, and the other side goes up this way to the front. Now, apparently that was too reduce hop to the vehicle. I'm not sure. Like I said, I didn't feel it in the 2014. However, I do feel it on this one. It's quite scary. I've been driving for, you know, going on 26, I'm almost 30 years, I believe now. So I've never experienced that. It was very scary. It caught me off guard. I really almost lost it. I wasn't going fast one day over a set of tracks, just south of where I live, going to work on a route I took every day on the other truck and this truck. Never once experienced that, and it did scare me. I thought for sure I was going off the road. It was snowing that day. I'm lucky I didn't go off the road. I mean, it's really, really dangerous. So I'm hoping that Ford sees this. They do something about it. Again, I don't know if it's the tires. It could be. I had low pressure. Well, it wasn't low. It was above the recommended for the vehicle. From the factory that I got, it was 37 pounds, I believe, in the rear, and they had 43 in the front. Now, I went to the gas station. I did put air in it. Fortunately, the meter wasn't working on the actual pump there at the gas station, so I was just going off the gauges in my truck. I ended up putting like 47 pounds in every tire, which is quite high. Not something I'd recommend you run on, but I did find it made a difference. Maybe the tire's more firm and it's not getting that side-to-side wobble as I go over the tracks. So maybe it needs new tires. Do I want to buy new tires on a vehicle I just paid a lot of money for that I bought, you know, a month and a half ago? No, I don't want to buy new tires. Do I want to put shocks on it? No, I don't want to put shocks on it. I want Ford to stand up, take responsibility for something that they should have known was not safe and addressed. I don't know why that prompted the change. Is it the aluminum body? Is it lighter? Could be. It could be the weight factor. But however, it should be something that should have been tuned into the suspension or tuned in with the tires. Okay, so I think I got that one out of the way. And now if you guys see anything that you think, or let me know down in the comments below, and let me know, you know, what you think the problem is or what could fix it potentially. Let me know if you have the same issue, and we'll go from there. I'm going to pause for a minute. I'm going to just turn on my cameras, the other cameras there, which I forgot to do, and then we'll get back to you in a second. Okay, so let's go on a few other things. Love the truck. The outside itself is fantastic. This has got a more flat, richer black. The other one was more of had a sparkle tone in it, my old truck. Now, however, I did notice today there's a little bit of rusting on the rear bumpers down here. I don't know if it'll show up. Really small, fine spots. They'll probably buff out. Here again, should it be rusting? I've only had it a month. No, I don't think so. I'll have Ford have a look at it. From what I've read, they're probably going to buff it and wax it. That's pretty much their standard reply to it. Should they fix it? Yes. My other truck had painted bumpers, didn't have this issue. Let's take a look and see if we can see it. We'll go from there. Okay, here we go. No, it doesn't look like it's going to show up. They're really, really small right there. Yeah, you can maybe see them there. I know it's hard to tell. It is dirty, but those are little rust spots. I mean, come on, man. At 5,000 kilometers, I know there's salt and stuff, but this is ridiculous. I mean, that's really, that's disappointing. I mean, I was looking at other trucks. I was looking at Dodges, but, you know, I veered away from Dodges. I see a lot of rust issues with Dodges. Didn't want to go there. And here I am with a brand new truck and I have rust. Not happy about it whatsoever. Okay, well, that's most of the worst points, but let's get to some of the fun points. I mean, this truck here, they got the new, got the tailgate here. Comes down nice and slow. Love it. Love that feature. Fantastic. Sorry guys, the battery died up, or I ran out of storage space on my phone. The wonderful thing about iPhone 7s, you can add storage, and unfortunately I didn't get one big enough. So anyway, I'm back to my my other camera. I took it off the tripod there. I'm using the 7D Mark II. Let's go to the tailgate. My old truck, I didn't have this. I did not have the fold-up step. So glad I went ahead and got that. I regretted not getting my other truck, so I got it on this truck. I mean, it's easy. It folds away. It tucks nice and neat into the new bed, into the tailgate. Sorry, love that. Love the feature. So much easier getting out of the back. You know, it's enjoy it very much. So let's go into the inside here. Now, I did opt to get the extended bed and the I went with the hard plastic tonneau cover. Now the problem is when you get this, just let me fold this up here. Hold on, just bear with me one sec here. All right, sorry, I just had to fold away the step. Okay, so I don't know if you can see it in here. Now I'm running out of light, but I got the extended bed, and the handle for the tonneau cover is right there. It is tricky. You do have to get in here behind the extended bed and pull down in order to release the cover. I mean, I don't take it off very often, so not a big issue. Another one, there is a light inside the cab again, which is fantastic. Now the extended bed covers the light switch. Now this is a Ford option. Maybe something I should have thought about. Maybe put the switch up here for the light, right up top here. Right now I can't reach the switch. It's down below, so I can't turn it on. My only option now would be take the extended bed off each time, put it away, put it back on when I need it. Kind of inconvenient if you're going somewhere and you need it. It's I don't like it. I mean, it's okay. It's something you can deal with, but not the best design. I mean, maybe if they had something easier to take it off and on, wouldn't be so bad. So that's the rear. That's the rear of the truck. That's the bed. That's any issues I have there. Other than that, I have the Line-X cover. Again, I didn't exactly want the Line-X. I wanted a plastic cover. The dealer, thought they were doing me a favor and didn't tell me and just put it on there. I mean, I wasn't happy about it. I mean, I did get the Line-X. It is the better liner compared to Ford's. But again, I don't know if it's going to prevent anything from getting dented in my bed. Only time will tell. So anyway, that's it for that. So let's move over to the inside. Actually, before I go inside, the running boards. They're very nice. They're nice chrome. If you look here, it's got these black grooves. Now, unfortunately, it collects dirt like this all the time. You could, like, I've gone through car washes twice. I've gone through once and then went through again, still dirt on here. I mean, it really acts like ripples, I guess, in a river, through a sluice plant or something, if you're a gold miner and understand that. It's a pain to keep clean. I mean, the whole truck's so hard to keep clean. It is a black truck. I knew what I was getting into. But yeah, a little bit inconvenience, nothing devastating. I mean, I just, maybe I'll take it to the pressure washer and wash it down first and then go into the automatic car wash. So let's go into the inside. Right off the bat, I like it. I mean, it's a beautiful interior. Again, it's dirty, and that'll get cleaned up in the spring. But I got the lino leather seats. It's got the dashboard much more improved than from the old truck. The old one was like a cheap plastic for the amount of money I spent. It really was disappointing. I mean, one of the biggest things I didn't like about the 2014. They did address that, which is great. Now, they moved the seat presets. They used to be down here next to the other buttons there. One for the lumbar, the up and down, side to side. Not really side to side, but this way, that way, up and down. They used to be located here, which was fine. It was kind of nice, easy to get to there. However, they did move it to the door, right next to the locks. I mean, it is nice to have it there. I don't mind it. The only problem is they are kind of small and kind of blended with the lock buttons here. So when you do go to set your seat, sometimes you might hit the wrong number. You can't really see them in the dark, so it would have been nice maybe to put lights on here. But it is what it is. It's not bad. There are 3 presets. The other one only had 2. Now the other one, I don't know if anyone's familiar with the 2014s, the earlier Fords that have the retractable mirrors. So just close the door. Right now the mirror is fully extended out. Now the old truck had a big bulky button located probably around somewhere in this area, and you pushed it back to bring it in or out. It was great. It actually worked if the truck was running or not running. Well, now they've moved it to one of the buttons here on the side. Now here, see, it does not operate when the vehicle's not running, which is kind of a pain, because sometimes you pull into a parking spot and you will stop the truck and you're like, oh, I want to bring the mirrors in so no one hits them. Well, now you got to start the truck again to, or at least turn the accessory power on in order to get the mirrors to close. Not a huge deal. I just wish they would have left the live power to that. It was a nice, you know, it was nice to have. It was, I liked it. It was good. So, and again, another point on the, you know, from the 2014 to 15. Little, you know, there's minor pet peeves and then there's major pet peeves. I mean, the issue with the going off the road almost, that's major, that's minor. I don't consider that a huge issue. Let's move further in. We'll take a closer look to the inside here. So come on in. Okay, so let's close the door. Hopefully the light's working okay here. Sorry about the shaky camera. This camera's a lot heavier than handling my phone. But let's start it up and we'll have a look. And okay, so here we are. We're all started up. Now if you look here, I'm going to turn that down. There's the mirror there. There's the button. So I'm running out of light, so I'm not sure how this is going to turn out. Okay, so here it comes in, no problem. And out it goes, which is fine. Now I turn the truck off. And, oh, sorry, accessory power is still on. So let's turn that off. Oh, it's going to stay on top of the door. Okay, so there it goes. I'm pushing the button, and now it's not moving. Again, not a big deal. I can just, you know, this truck does have a push button start, so I can just turn the accessory power on and hit the button and in comes the mirror. Not a huge inconvenience, but it was nice to have the push back that operated whether the power was on or not, which I liked. Now, let's move to the instrument panel. I'm just going to turn it right on. Okay, so the instrument panel, this is one of my nicer features compared to the other truck. Can't seem to focus here. Okay, there we go. Now here, a lot of better features. I can cycle through different gauges that I want to see. Here I got the turbo boost. You know, I can go in there, there's the mileage, fuel economy, there's the 4x4 stats, what angles I'm going on, inclination, the power to the wheels, compass. Here I got the speedometer I can keep on. Here's the tire pressure. Again, you can see there, one's 46, the other three at 47, like I mentioned earlier, a little high. I know I'll probably get a lot of flack from guys, but that's okay. It seems to be helping the issue, so I'm okay with it. Now, let's go to the next one. Let's go back to the gauge view. Oh, that's my view. I want out of here. Okay, so now I go into the fuel, because this is where I usually leave it on. I like to, you know, because I do drive a lot of kilometers to get to work, back and forth each day, I like to keep an eye on my fuel economy. So I try to keep the large bar there below the little bar. I don't know if you can see the line there next to the 14.7. So I like to keep that as low as I can, just to save money on fuel. That's about it for that. So anyway, I love the instrument gauge. The other one didn't have that. Really fantastic. Like I said, there's so many different things to see on here. I got, you know, I got the trailer assist backup. You know, I got in here, now they got the new Sync 3 system, which will bring me in another little pet peeve that I do have. It is much nicer, the Sync system. This one's supposed to be a little quicker. Yeah, I guess the interface between, you know, switching between is a little faster. The problem is from cold start, it takes a long time to come on. I don't know if it's just because it's cold right now. The other one wasn't that sluggish, but you know, it's okay. This one does have full Wi-Fi if you're capable in an area that can access it. Now the thing is with the Sync 3 compared to the old Sync system that I had is that this one was supposed to be more upgradable. So really, if there was any issues, you know, you'd be able to just download an upgrade and you'd be able to carry on and get all the new features. Now what I didn't realize is that this truck isn't quite, it does work with the iPhone 7 for some of the Siri features, but however, I do not get the app link. So I cannot use like the maps and you know, some of the other features that you can use with the other phone, like the Samsungs, the G3s. That works. I did have it. It is intermittent. I don't know if it was my phone or the truck. But I went to the iPhone thinking everything I've read about the Sync 3 that it would be more easier to use, and then it turned out I don't have it. So it's quite disappointing. I'm finding out now that I might have to go to the dealer and purchase a hardware upgrade and the software download. So now I got to purchase something in order to get what the 2017s and on have. I mean, it's a Sync 3. You think they should, the computer software itself should be working, but it doesn't. That's that's unfortunate. Again, I hope Ford can do an update with that without having to pay for it. I know a lot of people aren't happy about it, and well, that's it for the Sync system. It is nice. It'd be nice if they maybe came up with an app for it where you can adjust the colors in the screen. The other one had more colors, a little more vibrance. This is kind of, in the daytime it's white, at night it goes black. Not very colorful. I'd like to see some more color in it. It would be nice to personalize it. If I can go in and put my own personal taste to the screen, that would be nice. So let's maybe we can start a movement to try to get that going for Ford, but who knows, maybe we'll see it one day. Again, the push button on here is fantastic. I really like that. The other one didn't have that. This one's keyless, which is great. The only concern I have now, if my fob dies, it has a key built into the fob, which I can open the doors, but there's nowhere to put a key to start the ignition. So if my fob dies, I can't start my vehicle. So, there should be a backup key somewhere on this, but I don't see one. Maybe there is one hidden I'm not aware of, but right now that's where it sits. All right, let's go. What else is there inside the vehicle here? I love the fact they have all the trays have removable inserts, so for easy washing. So you spill your coffee down in here, take it out, give it a quick wash, you can slap it back in. Great feature. My old truck, I had the ambient lighting. It was non-factory, so I got it added after the fact, and it wasn't as nice. I mean, you look at this one here, it's kind of tucked in with the cup holder, so it's kind of great. So now you can actually, I can see it. It's nice. It glows more. It's got light up inside there. I'm not sure how well you can see that. And in the doors and on the floor, but it's not quite dark yet, so not standing out very well. Another feature that this one has, the other one didn't, is the 4 automatic. They have the 4-wheel drive auto. Way better. Really hard on the transmission running 4-wheel drive for, for high and long distances. So it was nice to have that feature in here, easier on the transmission. We'll see how that is. I've driven it a couple times in the winter. It's been pretty good, so I'm okay with that. Now, the only other thing is I do have the large moon roof. So let's have a look here. Let's open this up. So as you can see there, it'll slide all the way back. It stops halfway, and then you push it again, and it goes all the way back. Love it, love the moon roof. Nice and big. I'm not even sure if you can see it all on here. Hopefully you can. My problem with it are the buttons. They're up here in the middle, above the mirror, which is just fine, but when you're driving, there's so many buttons. Like you got one for your outside lights. It's hard to hit the right button, to be honest. I mean, you're fiddling, you're supposed to be paying attention to the road. I'm trying to find, the button to open this. I'm turning on the lights. I'm opening the sunroof. I mean, I'm sure I'll get used to it in time, but nice if they would have maybe tilted it down so you can see them. That would have been a little nicer. Again, then they put the rear window slider button in the front, so I'm not too sure why they couldn't maybe get it somewhere in here. But anyway, there it is. So that's that. So that's the interior of this truck. I don't Now this one, oh, here's a good one. I love this feature. The other truck did not have a sport mode. It had basically, to get more power, you had to lock the rear axle, which I can do on this truck as well. Turn off the traction control here. Now a lot of people not aware of this. If you just push it once, it, you know, traction control off. Not really completely off. So what you do is you don't have to do it. I can turn it back on. I'll do it from there it is, back on. So now I'll go ahead, and what you do is you hold it for, I think it's 10 seconds. It could be a little longer, I'm not sure, but we'll hold it here. There it is. So it's not that long. So now you get what's called advanced traction control. So now I'm not sure if it's 100% off, but it's more off. I mean, yeah, I don't have traction control, not very good for the winter, but it puts a lot more rubber to the road. It allows, the computer's not kicking in, it's not lagging, you don't get as much lag, it's a little bit more responsive. But however, you get now into the sport mode, which is down here on the bottom of the gear shifter, right here. You push that once, gives you your trailer sway. So that controls when you're hauling a trailer, it'll allow your trailer to control any swaying. Now you hit it again, and it puts it into sport mode, which is the small S down there. Let's zoom in a little bit. See if I get focus on this. I don't know if I will. Alright, not the easiest camera to focus some days. Okay, so there's the S. It is there. Anyway, so that really makes the truck responsive. It way more, you get a lot of lag without that on. When you hit the gas, it's like, ugh, it's sluggish, but that's the computer monitoring, keeping your fuel to a minimum. The sport mode just puts the power to the road. You take that traction control, if you put that sport button on, if you want to lock the rear axles just for a little fun with the straightaway, it is impressive. It sinks you back in your seat a lot more than the other truck did. I mean, this truck, I'm not sure, I think it's around 700 pounds lighter, 500 pounds lighter than the previous truck. I think the horsepower is the same. I think it's 365 horsepower, but with that less weight, that more power going to the road, it's wild. It's a nice, powerful truck. I haven't really towed with it yet. I know towing with the other one, you couldn't notice it. It had a lot of power. This engine, the EcoBoost engine, is fantastic for towing. A lot of power, a lot of good reviews on that. So I'm running out of light. Hopefully I covered most of the things on this truck. Like I said, if you have any things you want to mention about the back end, if you want to put that up in the comments down below, that'd be fantastic. I'll try to get back to you. I'll try to discuss it further with you. But that's what I have. That's it. Am I happy with the decision to go to this truck? Yeah, I like the truck. It's a nice truck. It's got a lot more features. It does have the automatic wipers my other one didn't have, the rain sensing. It has the non-key. Another option it has here is the lane keeping. So there's a little button down here. Got a little dirt there. A little button right here. Let's see if I can focus in on it. There we go. You push this down once, and it activates anti-lane sway. Not really anti-lane sway, it's a lane keeper. It keeps you in the lanes. As long as there's a middle line and an outside line, sometimes it does pick up on the shoulder. If your truck starts to veer off into the other lane, say if you're on your phone, which you shouldn't be, don't be on your phone when you're driving, and if you start to sway, it'll actually turn you back in your lane. So that is a good feature. I mean, if people that are on their phones, get off your phones when you're driving, please. It will prevent you from crossing into that lane and hopefully potentially losing lines. I mean, that's such a senseless thing. I don't understand why people use their phones when they drive. You know, we many years of using phones. Turn it off, set it down in your truck, get on it when you get home. I mean, these people can wait half an hour, 45 minutes, whatever it takes for you to get home for a call. You don't have to get back to them right away. That's just a note for me. Don't do it. So I think that's about it. We'll shut the truck off here. I'll go pack up. I'm really running out of light, so this isn't good. So yeah, thanks again. Thanks for following. I know I don't have many subscribers right now, but hopefully you guys can share this along, tell your friends, you know, hit the like button down there. Let's get some more people to my channel. I'd really like to see this move on. Like I said, I had a lot of followers on an old channel I had. It was Dirt Digger Dodge. It's my metal detecting side of it. Unfortunately, the issues I had with YouTube, it did get cut off, and it took me a long time. I got it back up and running under a different name, but again, my channel's back up, and I put a lot of the old videos I had on the other channel, put them back up on this one, and now I'm creating new stuff, different things, not just metal detecting. I want to cover a wide range of things. I want to do some weird things. I want to do some strange things. Again, today I'm just reviewing my truck. I had another idea to do, but it didn't pan out. So yeah, take care, guys. Thanks a lot, and you guys have a good day, and I'll see you on the flip side.